share, present. All right. Okay, so the dark night of the soul, we'll go a bit into what it is, how we experience it, and what it means for this group. So it's pretty much a guarantee that anyone attending here today either has gone through or is going through the dark night of the soul. So we go over here. So what is the dark night of the soul? The dark night of the soul refers to a period of intense spiritual crisis where one feels lost, alone, disconnected from the divine. So that is the spiritual concept of the dark night of the soul and how it's explained. And what it is it is the darkest hours of our life. It is often accompanied by severe illness or severe grief, loss of a loved one, sort of an experience in life that you cannot escape, that the only way to move through this experience is to live through it, is to do what you can to live through it. And so it is considered, it's not just one of the difficult times in your life. It's like the most difficult time. There is intense feelings of sorrow, despair, hopelessness. It's like the darkest space you've ever gone to. And so here's the symptoms of the dark night of the soul: feeling a sense of emptiness, like numbness to the world, just really like there is no escape from this. Like, what's the point? You just have like no purpose, feeling of purpose in life. And you're kind of questioning everything that you've learned up until now in your life. So all of these things that you counted on as being part of your reality suddenly are just not. You don't know which way is up, which way is down, and you just feel completely lost. So usually what triggers the dark night of the soul, because the dark night of the soul is thought to be like a soul contract. You came to learn a really deep lesson, and there will be a trigger for that soul contract. So that can be triggered by a spiritual crisis, just some sort of drastic change that creates a loss of meaning, some sort of existential anxiety. So that can come along with, being physically ill, that existential anxiety, like what's going to happen next in my health, like it's feeling like it can only get worse from here, or deeply traumatizing experience. So from this, the idea is it can lead to growth and insight, the dark night of the soul. And for some, they live through this for a very long time before it starts leading to growth and insight. So dark nights of the soul can last years and years. I know for me, my dark night of the soul was like a good 7 years straight. Yeah. It felt like it was never going to end. Yeah. So, but it can and it will. And so you're in the right place for that part. So no worries there. And so really going through the dark night of the soul is learning how to embrace it as a gift and a lesson, even though it doesn't feel like it at the time. So there will be some sort of spiritual existential crisis going on. In all of our cases, illness is one of them. And there can be more compounding it too in like really difficult relationships. And all of this can be used as a tool to transform yourself. So essentially, the dark night of the soul is, when we're a caterpillar and then we go in our cocoon and then we turn into just a ball of goo. That's the stage of the dark night of the soul. It's like everything just feels like it doesn't make sense, and you're just like a ball of goo. And from this ball of goo, you start transforming because you have no choice. You're really in it. And so you start transforming. And when you embrace the reality of what you're experiencing and start to build your own power in facing your fears, you emerge stronger than you could ever even imagine you could have been. Like, you come out completely transformed into the butterfly, is essentially where you're going from here. And so strategies for coping, this is where we'll kind of spend the most time tonight, is the strategies for coping, because what you want to do is move through it. And so how do you do that? One way to do that is what I call partnering with the universe. So I've had discussions with a few people about this lately, and really honing in on what that means. What does it mean to partner with the universe? So we can interchange the word universe for source, God, Christ. It's where you feel deeply connected to the divine, your higher power, where you feel deeply connected to it. So I'm using the word universe right now just for because it's a universal term. No pun intended. So partnering with the universe, there is several ways to do this in a way that's really fun. So I was talking with people about what I've gone through just recently with partnering with the universe, because sometimes I forget you can do this, and it's so amazing every time. So, I was really getting tied up in running the operations of this program and, helping people heal. And I was like, I'm really don't want to have to worry about finances and how that's going to work. I just want to do the work and be with people and help them heal. And so I just said to the universe, listen, you're going to have to just take care of finances so that I can do the work and I can stop thinking about this. And so I said, and then I will take inspired action. So this is the thing, is when you decide to partner with the universe will bring it to you, but you have to take the inspired action when you're nudged. So that might be a thought that pops into your head to Google something. It might be finding a book. It might be watching a YouTube video. It might be overhearing someone at a coffee shop. It's staying open to what's your job in that scenario. And I can tell you that after giving up my finances to the universe, within 2 weeks, I had made more income from unexpected ways that I never would have thought of than I could have planned for those couple of weeks. And so it's just this really amazing thing. And so you can do this in anything. And a really good technique for doing this, and I didn't make this up, it comes from Esther Hicks, is what you do is you take a piece of paper, put a line down the middle, and you say, my jobs. And then on the other side, you write the universe's jobs. And so whatever it is that you would like to do, and that's your job, and tangible things that kind of happen in the real world. And then you can say, and this I would like for the universe to take care of. I would like this to be the universe's job. And my job to meet the universe in the middle is to take inspired action when I feel the nudge. And so from there, how do we know if it's a yes or a no, if we're feeling inspired action? So the best way to do that is to really tune into your body and discover what feels like a yes to you and what feels like a no to you. So I'll just break you down some examples because it's going to feel different for everybody. So for me, when I ask my body what a yes feels like, I feel like I can breathe easier. I feel lighter. I feel at ease. My shoulders drop. And I'm just feel generally clear. So that's a yes for me. And so a no for me is in my solar plexus. That's where I feel no. It's on fire. So I've had circumstances where I'm with people and everything seems to be going just fine. Everyone's kind to each other. Everyone has a good time. But I have this feeling in my stomach about being around this person. And it'll be, sure enough, it'll be a couple weeks later or a month later, something will come up about this person or something that this person did, and it's like, oh, And so it's really learning how to trust that feeling in your body, no matter what. This is like fundamental 101. If you learn anything in this entire program together, is learning how to listen to yourself. And that's the best way to learn how to listen to yourself, because our bodies have all kinds of communication going on. And we think our brain is the main center of how everything operates, but it's not. It's what computes all the information, but there is information traveling from your solar plexus, there's information traveling from your gut, there's information traveling from your heart, there's information traveling from your thyroid, all types of different neuro centers in our bodies. So our bodies are essentially like our intuition. They sense our environment and what's going on, the littlest things. And so our bodies know a lot more than our mind does about what's going on around us in our environment. So when we learn how to really listen to that, it really helps us move in a direction that feels good to us and move more into a direction of a life that is more easeful, because you follow those easeful feelings and reactions. So that is how you partner with the universe. And so another thing you want to do when you're going through this experience is engage in activities that bring you joy and relaxation. So sometimes when you've just been through it all, everything feels so deep and heavy and serious, and just you don't have capacity for joy or rest, true rest, where you are relaxed and enjoying the rest. And so how we do this is the littlest bit at a time. So just finding 5 minutes even to do something for no reason other than it's fun to do. So that can be a craft, it can be going for a walk, it can be petting an animal, it can be having a bath, reading a book for no reason. It's like anything that's for no reason. And then, so in terms of relaxation, when we decide, okay, I'm resting and that's what I'm going to do, set yourself up for success. So for instance, say you want to take a bath, that you find that space relaxing. Set yourself up really nice. Light a candle, use really nice bath salts, and put some music on, have your favorite book, have some chocolate at the bath, whatever it is that you really, really enjoy. Your body will find this so soothing. It rests your nervous system, and use whatever products at this time that you feel comfortable using. If your body is in a state of being allergic, then use what you feel good around, and that just really brings you into that relaxation state. And just pamper yourself, truly take care of yourself the way that you wish someone else would. Be that for you, give yourself those gifts. And you'll discover, as you do that more and more for yourself, the natural side effect is you start to believe you actually deserve it. Because a lot of us that have gone through or going through chronic illness have a really difficult time with receiving. So that brings us to our third one, which is allow yourself to receive, be a receiver. So part of this is when we partner with the universe, we expect to receive. The universe wants to give to us, wants to. We are part of the universe. We are part of the universe's creation, and the universe wants to give to you. So it's receiving, being open to receiving, because often the people that are having this experience are givers. They are nurturers. They are caretakers. And they go through this experience as kind of like this silent warrior. And so when you open yourself up to receive, so much more is available to you. And so, whether that is receiving from a friend, counting on a friend, to help you and support you in certain things that you need help with, or, you know, just being open to receive in general. When someone offers you something, say yes. And it's, again, those little steps, but really accepting when people want to give to you, you know, in the same way that you give to others all the time. And so it's learning how to receive as well. And that starts creating a really good energy flow. Because right now, a lot of what happens when you're going through illness and going through this dark night of the soul experience, you have a lot of energy output and not a lot of energy input. And we want to start reversing that so that there's more energy coming in than you even need. So seeking help during the dark night of the soul. So this goes back to it. It can be challenging to seek help. Often what will happen is, because you're such strong people, what happens is it becomes challenging to seek help because you are very good at managing things yourself, taking care of things yourself, being this pillar of strength. And so often what will happen is you go through something on your own, and then you'll tell people about it later after you've conquered it. And so it's like, remember, like, that receiving is actually strength. So it's okay to receive from other people and to ask for help, ask for support. I mean, in this case, you're in a program where this is what we're here to do. We would love to support you in any way we can. And so just have zero fear on asking for it, because people don't know that you need something unless you tell them you do. And then moving forward. So like I was discussing earlier, it may feel endless. It's like one thing after a frickin' another. And it's like, the thing is it will end, but it takes intention. And the only person really that can make the steps to move you through is you. And sometimes we don't know what we don't know, and we get stuck. And the biggest thing is being open to learning, and like you're saying, receiving information, receiving answers, and being open to hearing them when they show up for you. And it's also learning to let go of what is keeping us sick, for instance, like what is keeping us in the dark night of the soul. Because sometimes we have to make very difficult decisions to set ourselves free of the dark night of the soul, whether that is removing ourselves from a relationship or reducing the relationship to a point where it's manageable, or it means exiting a career. And I'm not here to tell anybody what to do, because ultimately it's your life and your decision. You get to live this experience. But what do you want? What do you truly want? And when we start answering those questions, sometimes it gets scary, because it means big change. And that can be really scary. And so we end up staying in our dark night of the soul for fear of change. And so one thing I know for sure is the only thing worse than taking the leap and going for what you want is regret. It's way worse to feel regret than to just go for it, make mistakes along the way, stumble your way through it, and then land on the other side. So it really is an experience of trust and this underlying knowingness and hope that you will overcome it. Like, you have to believe it to see it. And the more you believe it, the more you will see it. And so you're going to create those belief systems by initially starting within, believing, feeling your own self. So what we talked about with that exercise of like, what's a yes for me? What's a no for me? And truly learning how to listen to that. And you'll become a master at it in some areas of your life, and other areas takes a whole long while to live. But in the meantime, it just keeps getting better. Each time you go through something, each time you master a new experience, life gets better, because your resilience increases, your capacity increases, when we go through the dark nights of our soul, what that is you are being gifted spiritual power, which it doesn't seem like it. It certainly doesn't feel like it, but you are being given more power. And to ensure that you can wield that power in a way that is for the betterment of humankind, that is used in a benevolent way, is to go through an experience like this, because you gain so much empathy and compassion for other people because of your own personal experience, that by the time you come out of it and you've gained all of this power, you're now able to wield it. Because if you were just handed that power without having that level of empathy and compassion, it's like giving a child a machine gun. And so know that where you're at now, it seems like so far away, but the breakthroughs, once they start coming hard and fast. So you start welcoming them. You're like, okay, what am I working through next? What am I breaking through next? Because it's like exciting, because you're seeing this progress. And so it will start slowly at first, and then it builds and builds and builds. And then all of a sudden, every day there's massive change happening, and you welcome it. You welcome all of the new that's coming into your life and all of the opportunities to learn and to move forward. So that is the dark night of the soul. And I'll now open it up to everyone. I'll stop sharing my screen, and we can have a discussion about the dark night of the soul.